Welcome to Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest, two-time National League All-Star pitcher, the anchor of the Pirate pitching staff from Mars, PA, David Bednar. David, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking your time.
Oh yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for having me.
Hey, by the way, congratulations on your new contract, much deserving. You have to feel pretty good about that. Something you don't have to worry about going into this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is just having that in the rearview mirror and now focus on the fun stuff and just actually playing baseball.
David, last year, no question, the Pirate bullpen and the job that you did at 2.00 ERA, 39 saves. You guys really behind the Pirates surge, an increase of 14 wins from 2022, 76 and 86. The whole division improved except for the Cardinals. You know, the Brewers at the top, but the Cubs made strides, the Reds made strides. And then you look at the World Series with Texas and Arizona, and Texas winning 4 games out of 5. Does that give the Pirates a lot of encouragement to see that there are 2 teams no one expected to be in the World Series made that jump?
I think without a doubt, I think how we played last year. I think it's definitely very encouraging. I think obviously the start was great. The middle of the season was very really tough, and then but I think it was really important for us to finish strong and finish on a high note and learn how to win with the guys in the clubhouse and get all the young guys some experience and head into the spring training this year. I think we're all pretty excited and ready to roll.
Neil Cruz is scheduled to come back to solidify an infield that should be one of the best in the National League with Hayes at third, and I'm not sure. Got a number of options at second base. My only question is, who's going to be the first baseman?
Who knows with Rowdy and Connor Joe or whoever, Triolo, whoever they throw over there. But no, we got a really good group regardless. Bryan's unbelievable over there. O'Neal Cruz is just a freak. There's no really other way to say it. Just the things he can do on a baseball field are just crazy. And then like you said, second base, the depth is there's a lot of depth there. So we got a lot of good options, and looking forward to seeing how it shakes out in camp.
Right, you have a couple of changes due to injuries. With Endy Rodriguez is going to miss the year, so Henry Davis is going to go be behind the plate. But in the outfield, you got a lot of depth out there with Reynolds and Sawinski and others. Looking at the starting pitching, my concern is with you lose Johan Oviedo with Tommy John surgery. Keller had a nice, solid, strong year. What's the rest of the starting staff going to look like?
I think we signed some guys, Perez and then Marco Gonzalez, and then just leave it up to some young guys to step up. And obviously you have Mitch anchoring the staff, and he's been incredible in the year he's had, and I fully expect him to kind of carry that into next year. So I think the pitching side should be a strong suit, and I think it's just going to be what young guy wants to step up, and we'll step up. And I have a lot of faith in those guys because it's been a lot of fun to watch them kind of progress the past 2 years.
What do you say to a young pitcher like Quinn Priester comes up and he does some good things? He hits a rough stretch in there. Do you ever talk to these guys? How so much of this is mental, is it not, David?
Just about all of it. I mean, because at this point, everybody has the ability and everybody has the stuff, or else you wouldn't be there. So, I mean, the mental side of it's the main separator. It's because everybody's gonna go through a little rough patch, and it's easy when you're going well. It's tough whenever you struggle a little bit, and it's how you can bounce back and how to limit that and just kind of ride that wave. So, mainly it's just the grass. It gets better. It's like just tough it out. Forget the next one. It's so hard. It's so much easier said than done. But just moving on from the next one, taking it one outing at a time, one pitch at a time, one out at a time, inning at a time, and not thinking too far ahead, not thinking too far behind. Because if you take your focus anywhere but that hitter right there, you already lost.
And there's so much expected. Last year's #1 pick from LSU, Paul Skeens. Is there a sense that he's ready, or the Pirates don't want to maybe push him too soon, too fast?
I'm honestly not sure. I haven't got a chance to meet him yet, so we'll see. We'll see in spring training where he's at. But obviously a big talent. It was cool. I watched some College World Series highlights and saw him throw. The talent's definitely there. But yeah, we'll see in camp how he looks and what their plan is. And but drafted 1-1. It's definitely no joke. So he's definitely a stud for sure. But yeah, looking forward to meeting him and seeing how he goes about his business in spring training.
Well, watching you the last few years, you've grown as a reliever and see much more confidence. And you talk about having the right mental attitude. Even if you give up a home run, I see there's no difference in your makeup. You're right back at it. That's something you learned when you started with San Diego, or since you've been with the Pirates.
Yeah, no, I think that's something I've learned. Kind of since being in the big leagues, you kind of realize you're able to kind of change your perspective a little bit, and it's just how well you're able to adjust. In San Diego, I just didn't really adjust quick enough, and I just didn't have the success I'm having now. And but that set me up for what I'm doing right now. It's learning with those failures and learning, getting beat up a little bit and turning that into a positive and not just dwelling on it. And making every one of those like a learning experience. And that's a big part of it. Is not every bad outing is a bad. If you learn from it, you're like, oh, okay, well, I set this guy up the wrong way, or I shouldn't have thrown that pitch in that count, and so on like that. But it was really helpful in San Diego. I had some in that bullpen. There are some good veterans, Craig Stammen and Kirby Yates, who just really good guys and went about their business the right way. Really good mental mindset, and kind of just help pass that on, and just make every single pitch the most important one.
Is San Diego not where you learned your out pitch, your go-to pitch when you're in trouble? Is that where you developed?
Yeah, I learned it in when out my first year in the minor leagues. I learned my splitter, and that's probably the main pitch that helped me get to the big leagues. And now it continues to be a big weapon for me.
Have you ever met the Pirate great Elroy Face, who perfected the well, they called it the forkball back then. I guess it was a splitter.
Actually, yes, I did get to meet him for like a half second when they were honoring him.
David, let me ask you. So many today. You're a closer, 1 inning, and usually you're done. Do you feel you could sometimes go 2 innings, maybe a little bit more than 2 innings, or are you satisfied with the 1 inning approach?
I think there's a lot more variables that go into it than that. I think it's previous usage, what's the schedule like coming up, how are the other guys in the bullpen, what's the game situation. So I mean, my mantra has always been whenever the phone rings, I'm ready to roll. So that as far as that goes, that's what I think. But as far as when and how, it's up to Shelton and Oscar, the pitching coaches, and I kind of leave it up to those guys, just because we got a lot of guys in the bullpen that can sling it, and it's fun to watch.
There's so much today to talk about analytics. I know I asked this of you before. How much to your game you rely on analytics, and yet in certain situations you say, I'm going with my intuition, I'm going with a hunch that I have about this hitter, and forget analytics.
As far as analytics, when it comes to like pitch designing, I don't really do a whole lot of it. I do a lot of scouting report stuff though, based on hitters and stuff like that. So, it's more of as far as like a pitch and like how everything kind of is coming out of my hand. It's I rely kind of more on feel and like kind of what my eyes are telling me, unless obviously we have all the technology hooked up, and if there's a big outlier, then that'll somebody will bring that to my attention. But and then as far as the hitters go in the game, we do a good job of having a scouting report meeting before every series and going over every hitter. And so so mainly it's just getting you and the catcher on the same page, and so you're able to be 100% committed to that pitch.
Hey, David, season just around the corner here. You guys will be heading down to Florida. A lot of anticipation. It's a great feeling about what the expectations are for the Pirates this year. I wish you a lot of luck and have another great season.
Awesome. Thank you. Go Bucks.
You're welcome. I'll be right back with Ellen George.
Armstrong has been a part of Butler County for over 60 years. We've run hundreds of miles of high-speed fiber, and we're not stopping. Your internet, television, and telephone connectivity is backed by a team of local technicians who are backed by their local office, who is backed by our 24/7 network operations team, as well as our 24/7 customer service center. Can the other guys say that? We didn't think so. Armstrong. Unmatched employees, unmatched technology, unmatched fiber network.
I am back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Guys, move along basketball, spotlight, top scores. You know we're halfway through the season. It's
Absolutely.
Isn't that amazing?
Yep. Absolutely.
Let's go our top scorers, boys. Braden Littlejohn of Butler, 38 and 22-point games, puts him over 1,000 for career points. Ralph Blundo of Newcastle, 34 and 24. Max Hurry of North Catholic, 30 and 23. Peter Kramer of Hampton, 29 and 24. Joey DePiric of North Allegheny, 29. Joseph Roth of Elwood City, 24. Josh Book of Slippery Rock High School, 23. Shane Peters of Carn City, 21. And Brady Sullivan of Freeport, 20. For the girls, Madeline Savaski of Pine Richland, 26. Lydia Betts of North Allegheny, 26. Catherine Kelly of Montauk, 25. And Caroline Henderson of North Allegheny, 20. Let's go to our first look at the power rankings here. Trib Sports News. Boys 6A, number 1, Upper St. Clair with that upset win over Mount Lebanon, held them to 39 points in a 44-39 win. Jumping up to number 2 is Mount Lebanon. Jumping up to number 3 is Central Catholic with a dominating 66-42 win over Butler after losing to Newcastle in overtime.
I can't figure that team out.
Yeah, and then Butler at number 4 and Baldwin at number 5. And in 5A, it's Gateway, Moon, Shaler, Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Regional. Let me say this about Shaler. Their athletic program, a few years ago, they struggled in football and basketball. They have really turned their athletic program around.
I heard this class was coming through. I heard that.
They're
Junior
really
high.
good.
That's what happens.
And they're 5A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt. Although 5A is very, very good.
Very good.
In football, you don't have Central Catholic in NA.
And in 4A, it's Surprise Lincoln Park, followed by Uniontown. Hampton with a very good team. Avonworth, Montour knocking there at 10 and 3. And in 3A, it's Deer Lakes, Neshannock, Seton LaSalle, Burl, and Washington. 2A, Aliquippa, Greensburg Central Catholic, Northgate, Shenango, and Fort Cherry. And in 1A, it's Monessen Neighborhood Academy, Imani, Aquinas Academy in Rochester. For the girls in 6A, Peters Township at the top, 14-0, followed by Norwin, North Allegheny, Char Valley, and Seneca Valley in there at number 5. In 5A, it's Oakland Catholic, McKeesport, Lincoln Park, Trinity in Indiana. In 4A, Blackhawk, North Catholic, Elizabeth Forward, Highlands, and Laurel Highlands. And in 3A, Avonworth. Is there anything they're not good at? They're just loaded in every area.
Change of clientele down there.
Yes. Avonworth, Waynesburg, Shadyside Academy, Seton LaSalle, and Neshannock. And in 2A, it's Greensburg Central Catholic, Aliquippa, Sarah, Chartiers, Houston, and Clareton. And in 1A, it's Union and Newcastle, followed by St. Joseph, Aquinas, Monessen, and Riverview. Let's go to our stories of the week. NFL playoffs, and we start with the Steelers in Buffalo in a game that was delayed and played in freezing, brutal temperatures. A lot of snow. They got the snow off the field. They didn't get the snow out of the stands. And Buffalo, the one thing you didn't want to happen, Buffalo jumping out to a big lead, 21-0. The Steelers did make a comeback, but not enough in there, as Buffalo put up 368 yards, but the telltale of the game was them rushing for 179 yards.
Well, Josh Allen was the one who runs it.
Josh Allen had 52.
Yeah.
But their running backs also
decent,
did a
but Josh Allen,
good job.
He's a difference maker.
He was 21 of 30 for 203 yards and threw for 3, ran for 1. Mason Rudolph, finally everyone expected him, and he had that nearly perfect game before 18-20, the last game of the year. So he threw for 1 touchdown. He threw a red zone pick. Now, this is just me from what I saw of him in the 4 games. He's going to be my starting quarterback going into July. I know that's not going to happen. You're going to get all kinds of reasons why. You're going to get a fake that it's going to be a competition type of thing, and I don't think it will be.
No.
So for the Steelers now, it's their 5th straight playoff loss. And, George, we talked about this. They've given up an average in those 5 losses of 38 points a game. It's the worst in NFL history. They haven't won a playoff game now in 7 years, and Tomlin now 8-10 in the playoffs. So where do they go from here, guys, for next year?
They'll be the same thing if he wants to come back. I don't know what I have a feeling he's not going to come back.
You don't think he will?
I have a feeling he's going to take a year off. I do.
Okay.
Did you see his reaction to that question yesterday?
He didn't answer it.
Did you see his reaction to that question?
Yeah. I said this.
He said your contract. He walked off.
He walked off.
Yeah, it's a bad time. I wouldn't ask somebody that question either.
Right.
Not after this loss.
Here was what I said to someone. If he wants to come back, he'll come back.
Yeah.
If he wants.
There's no doubt.
It's his choice, right?
It's his call. Now, how much of a pull, and I don't know what the pull would be. I hear Washington Commanders coming up. I'm not sure what that pull is there, why he would want to go to Washington.
Just sometimes just
a new change.
That's all.
Time for
he
for a
makes
change.
a pile of money. Money won't be the final verdict because he makes a ton either place.
All right, and I think there's some changes that have to be made. Hayward's 34 years old. He can't play every down, and so they need to make some changes. I still think there need to be some improvements on the offensive line, and they need an overhaul on that defensive front 4. They need to do some work there.
Well, the defense makes so much money. That's where they're up against it with the cap. The defense makes 2/3 of their cap.
Yeah, Watt didn't play yesterday. You understand that you take. You can't. They can't play without.
I understand that.
That's like taking Josh Allen off Buffalo.
But in 4 of those 5 losses in the playoffs, Albert, he played. And they gave up 45 to Jacksonville, 42 to
I'll say this again
Cleveland,
to you.
40 to Kansas City.
I'm on the other side of that.
Yeah.
There's 30, 20. How many teams, George? 20?
32.
Yeah.
18 teams don't make the playoffs. And we're just spoiled. They think the Steelers.
No. What I'm saying, even though he played in those playoff games, they're not
as good as the teams they lost to. I mean, there's not even a chance that Pittsburgh's as good as Buffalo. Not even a thought in my mind. The line said it.
That was a 10-point line.
10-point line.
But it's disappointing. In last 4 years, they're caught in the middle of the road there. A mediocre 9-8. That's pretty much what it is.
And then you pick
in the middle. So they're 29.
So you rather have them be 3-11 or 12, 3-12?
I want to. Okay, here. Let me ask you this: can they win and be a playoff winning
not with
team
the personnel they have right now.
with the current quarterback situation?
No, the whole personnel. They don't have a good enough team.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have a good enough
so
team.
I know that they rave about the 2 wide receivers, but then again, you saw yesterday what did the Pickens catch? Only 2.
He dropped the ball too.
Dropped the ball, and then once again smashing his helmet as he comes off the field. Then you look at what everyone talk. Oh, Davis is out for Buffalo, and I told George they got 3 of the best tight ends in the business. They get great depth at the tight end position, and no one wanted to give them credit. In their winning streak, they were averaging 158 yards a game rushing. Mm-hmm. So you look at it, Buffalo's a very good team.
Buffalo's good.
Oh, yeah. They're hot, too, by the way.
Buffalo's good.
7 in a row now, right?
Watch them.
So if you're the Steelers, what do you do for next year?
Well, you continue to try to get players. That's what you try to do. There's nothing else you can say.
And spending the money there. Like George said, they're heavy on that defense.
I don't know their cap. I don't know where they are with the cap. Only the general manager knows that. You got to make some, adjustments in the money. That's the way it works.
Well, everything revolves around the quarterback. So what do? You're looking. Is Rudolph?
Well, Pickett's going to play.
Is Rudolph good enough?
No, he won't be there.
Pickett's going to play. I don't think Rudolph will be there. I don't think he'll even be there.
I think he got himself a job.
You know what? I like him. I like his pocket presence. He stands tall in the pocket. He is a pocket passer. But I agree with you guys. I don't think his future's with the Steelers. All right, how about this one? I had Houston last week. I picked them. You like Houston too. They slaughtered Cleveland 45-14. But we shouldn't be surprised because Cleveland at home, their defense gives up 13 points, 250 yards a game. On the road, they give up 30 points a game and almost 400 yards a game.
Why? Well, there's a truth to another side to that. Flacco gave them 14 points. I mean, it was,
He did.
my defense, they didn't play good. I understand that. But you can't say that they score all the points against the defense. They ran 2 back for touchdowns.
But their defense on the road,
it's not the same.
It's
You're
not the same.
What would that be?
I don't know.
I think they might be lesser competition.
I'm not sure what that is.
You look at the
It
schedule.
just happened that
They happen to play their
I got
easier
you.
games at home.
I
Yeah.
got you.
And Flacco, he threw the 2 pick sixes, but he was harassed all day long. This is why D'Amico Ryans, he's my coach of the year. What a job he's done. Took a team of 3-14 to win the division title and win a playoff game.
I will say this: Stroud made him coach of the year, and George said it. I think the MVP.
But he's done a good job of the defense.
Oh,
You know,
no,
he
he's a
came,
good defensive
he came
coach.
from Frisco where he
Oh,
was a
they're-
defensive
no,
he's a good
they're-
defense
no,
coach.
they're-
But they don't win anything without Stroud.
Didn't he
Stroud
play
is-
at Alabama?
I
Did
think
he
Yes,
play at
he
Alabama?
did.
And Stroud, and you have to give Stroud. Look at that team before he got there. Like if I told Albert, if that V is valuable, it's Stroud.
I think he'd be the most valuable player in the league. I did.
It'll be
Yeah.
the kid from Baltimore, though.
Means everything.
Yeah.
All right, and then the Chiefs, and I listened to that game on Westwood 1. I listened to it on radio. Chiefs 26, Miami 7, and sub-zero
Say
temperatures.
that's 295.
Yeah. Hey, the Chiefs' defense was dominant. We said how good their defense they've
Yeah, we did.
been this year. And it was the most streamed live event in U.S. history with 23 million viewers.
How you say that, George? Not that many. You say, George?
Yeah, they don't have that many.
Comparatively
but
speaking.
compared to Netflix
Yeah,
or something. But
yeah.
23 million, they got their money back. They gave them 100 million for the game.
Chris Jones is a dominating player.
Very
Dominating
good.
player,
And
yeah.
and there are others around him. I said Andy Reid put together the youngest defense in the NFL. It's the youngest secondary around. They're loaded
They
with
got lucky.
rookies.
Once again, I always say if they knew they were all so good, they dropped them first. They drafted them 5th, 6th, pick them up free agents. That's the
part of it.
Steelers.
That's
No,
part
the
of it.
Steelers in their great heyday.
Yeah,
Donnie Shell was
in
a
their
free
heyday.
agent. You understand?
Right.
You get lucky. They didn't know they were good.
And the other thing, they have a great kicker. Butler kicked 4 field goals. They held the Dolphins to 76 yards rushing.
George called the weather game. George,
I
right
got to
on.
tell you, just from my opinion, the Dolphins look cold, if there is such a thing. They did
I think
not.
they probably were.
No, I mean, you come
They're a banged up.
and you come
banged
from
up team.
75 degrees to that.
Yeah, and the Chiefs put up 147 yards rushing.
Oh no, you knew Pacheco would be a big factor.
So the next round, you have Kansas City 12-6 at Buffalo 12-6. Give me your pick.
Buffalo,
I'm taking Buffalo.
grudgingly.
I'm riding Buffalo. I'm riding Buffalo all the way through. You know.
All right.
Yeah.
Now here's Houston 11-7 at Baltimore 13-4.
Baltimore.
I'll take Baltimore. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure it's going to be so easy.
I am.
You think it's going to be easy?
Well, they'll be harassing Stroud just like Flacco got harassed.
All right, we'll see. I think it'll be Baltimore's going to win. I don't think it'll be a blowout. The NFC, Green Bay jumps all over the Cowboys to a 27-0 lead. They rode them like they were some ponies.
Is he going to save his job?
I don't know. You're not hearing
What do you think,
too
George?
No, gone.
You think he's gone?
No,
Okay.
I said to Al Saturday, I said, is there anybody sitting there safe today that won't be safe once they see what happened? Sirianni, if Belichick, Harbaugh, Carroll, they weren't out there, he might be safe.
Yeah.
Like this guy here, McCarthy. If Belichick wasn't out there, he'd be safe.
Here's the top of the thing. Harbaugh interviewed with the
Yes.
Chargers. If he takes the Chargers job, then everything else is going to
Good
fall.
point.
If he
Absolutely.
doesn't take the Chargers job, Belichick moves ahead
Good
to him to
point.
the Chargers.
Right.
But I'm not so sure Belichick's not looking at maybe Philadelphia's better place for me than the Chargers.
Well, he wants to win quickly.
Yeah, he won
That's- he wants
14
to-
and
he
out.
wants
Don't
that
you
winning
think,
out.
Ed?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. He
2
doesn't want-
years.
Yeah, 2 years he's out. Yes.
He's 72.
All right, Green Bay, Love his first playoff win. He looked sharp. They just jumped all over the Cowboys, who looked disorganized, 48-32. When's the last time Dallas won a playoff game?
Long
Last time they've
long
been to
time.
the Super Bowl is 28
Long
years.
time ago, yes.
28 years.
You know what? There's a guy worth billions. The Cowboys are the richest franchise. You mean he can't? Is he that egocentric that he can't look in the mirror and say, "What is the same between the last time we won?" Me.
Yeah. Well,
He'll never do that. George.
No,
You
he
know
won't.
that.
No, I
you
agree.
see the opportunity there for Belichick. And what I'm saying, I know there are two big egos there. However, Jerry Jones is 82. What's he going to be waiting for? He may see Belichick as his final shot to get to a Super Bowl.
Well, I've already told George, Belichick won't listen to him anyway because he's only there for 2 years. If he was going to be 10 years, then he'd have to listen.
I think he'll coach another 4 or 5.
Like Parcells, he needed the money. I guess he had just gotten a divorce. So he put up with him for a year or two.
No way. That coach got a divorce.
Yeah. Hey, and this is a game we talked about. Detroit 24, the Rams 23. We talked. I said it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's 21-17. I thought, well, you got to score 40 to win this game with 21-17 at the half. Second half, 3 field goals. Detroit held on.
Red zone defense.
That's what it was.
Red zone.
Rams moved the ball up and down the field, but got down the 10-yard line, couldn't score.
And how about one of our favorites, Baker Mayfield? He torched the Eagles with 3 touchdown passes in a 32-9 win.
Eagles quit rushing the passer for some reason. I don't know where it happened. I circle that as when their defense changed. They don't get near the quarterback maybe twice a game. He just stands back there and throws it around.
All right, think about 10-1, 1-6.
Yeah,
it's hard to imagine.
I think he's definitely gone.
Yeah, I do too. Here's the second round: Green Bay at San Francisco. I like the 49ers. I'm sure you guys do too. And Tampa Bay at Detroit. Don't go so fast there. This might be a tougher game than anyone thinks.
Yeah, it's. I just like to chalk it all 4 games. I'm not. I don't know if they're going to all beat the spread.
Yeah,
but I think they're all going to win.
And to beat Detroit in that place, you have to score. What would you say? 31.
You have to score a lot of
28 minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Mike Vrabel out at Tennessee, Pete Carroll out at Seattle. We know, and then of course Belichick out. So many changes. Belichick 338, 178, 6 titles, and then there's Shula ahead of him 347, and George Ellis at 320. How about George Ellis? He had 34 ties back in those days.
Wow.
And Andy Reid 280, 160. Reid now 22-16. He's second all time in playoff wins.
He's riding Mahomes to the promised land, just like Belichick rode Brady to the promised land.
And in our final minute, Saban steps down at Alabama. They waste no time in hiring DeBoer from Washington.
I heard all the Washington players are following him.
10 million.
I heard all the Arizona players are going to Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And
they said DeBoer had tears in his eyes. I think because he saw that
money.
New contract, $10 million.
Yeah, Saban has 8 Mercedes dealerships and a Lamborghini. The other thing is,
I saw his house, George.
You
showed me his house.
Did you see it?
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing. That's not a house.
That's not a house. No.
That's a compound.
Hey,
what's the name? Dynasty, that old show.
Yeah, let's finish with high school sports. Butler's going to stay independent. That's no shock. They were 13-24 in their 4 years at District 10. I'm not sure what the plan is to get back because they're going to play a schedule already tentatively with Alderdice, Westinghouse, Brashear, Hollidaysburg, Meadville, maybe Shaler. So there are no 6A teams in there. So I don't know how you get ready to go back into 6A.
They're not.
I think they're going to stay there. And you're old school, Farrell, petitioning to get back to the WPIAL. What do you think?
District 10. I think they'll end up back to District 10.
You don't think they'll let them in the WPIAL?
I don't think they'll let them in.
All right, that's it for us. We've run out of time. We'll see you next week.
High school sports, community events, all of your favorite local shows are calling the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel their home. Find out everything your neighborhood has to offer on Channel 100 or on YouTube. Spirit, town pride, local communities. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Business Pro Wi-Fi from Armstrong Business Solutions is more than just Wi-Fi. It enhances productivity, tightens security, and is tailor-made for small business. Take control over guest networks with a branded portal, protect sensitive data, and manage staff with the WorkPass app. Business Pro Wi-Fi gives you customer insight, turning analytics into opportunities. Get a fully connected business intelligence platform in the palm of your hand. Business Pro Wi-Fi from Armstrong Business Solutions.